Units received. Units received.
Ah, I've had the microphone muted all this time. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I just realised that the mic settings were off. Just so you know, a quick break while I grab a drink.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
Okay, being the consummate professional, as you may have noticed at the beginning, in the complete silence, as I hadn't actually done a microphone check, you've been spared my babbling, which you may be grateful for. So you might want to mute your your volume now. as I may whitter on. Right, we need a bypass chip. Here's the next location, giving us a opportunity. I think we're halfway through. Yep. Opportunity of locating the remaining 6 species. And yes, you haven't missed too much of excitement on the conversation point. Some general whittering. now, now I've got the microphone on, I'm not saying much at all. Keeping one eye open out for some more iridium. So, aha. Mouse-eared batty things, which are ridiculously common. White-tailed bats. 4 to go. Ah. I think we want to go and shifty over here. Planets look very close to each other. Yes, as I said earlier, I will possibly be this coming Friday, as I'm recording it. It's Friday afternoon here, doing me mead-infused continuation of my Banished game. There we go. I will be giving my latest batch of orange mead, or orange zest mead, a try out. See how the flavours have come on. One of the things I was switching on about earlier was the fact that a simple sort of 2-piece corking device. This little cheap plastic thing. I managed to shatter a couple of chunks out the side bit that helps hold it over the neck of the bottle. So you don't get many Atlas words. And that didn't power up. I'm wondering if the key to portals might be Atlas words in the end. Assuming there is a key to a portal.
Ground protection falling. Units received.
3 to go.
Units received.
Don't you despawn on me.
Units received.
Oh, no, that's just another one of those hammer tails. It's a nice looking iron resource. It's almost like a little migration going on. Well, let's top up the thermal protection while we're here.
Technology recharge.
Oh dear, they're funny. It's aluminium. Yeah, the sort of look and feel of the fauna and flora give you a, well, particularly the flora, I suppose, and the rocks and so forth, give you that sort of original series Star Trek feel. Or at least at times.
Ground protection falling.
I suspect once it gets a bit darker, the temperature should even off. But as I'm passing a hazmat plant, I might as well top up the hazmat protection from it. Where are you?
Temperature levels stabilizing.
There we are. You're unconcerned, which means the predator is somewhere over here. There we go. Snapple some of that. Oh, this planet has vortex cubes. And if you're near a trade point. Do take up an awful lot of inventory space.
Temperature levels stabilizing. Thermal protection falling.
I haven't had any hostile avians. That'd been quite fun. Wandering down and get dive bombed by something that looks like a dragon.
Thermal protection falling.
Loads of oxides.
Technology recharge.
Yeah, little cave beneath my feet. And a wee iridium. It's got the blue texture.
Thermal protection falling.
It's also kind of fun is you have to watch where you're walking.
Thermal protection falling.
Otherwise you'll end up falling down one of those caves, as I have done. It's just abandoned. I can nip inside, top up the hazard protection.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
I don't need to. Yeah, it's Irishify me coffee a little bit as it's getting on in the day. Right then, let's continue on to the Manufacturing facility. Two to go. Come on. It's been quite a life-filled system so far. 2 planets. 11 life forms on the first. Now 12. Keep one eye out on those knowledge stones. Because it always comes up you have learned the word. Or at least, I don't recall ever coming across something saying you already know. And the only time that appears to have happened before was inside the Atlas interfaces, where you wander over one of those little knowledge walls, for want of a better description, and nothing happens. Yeah, it's definitely getting down there. Quick. Let's top up the life support then. Have some cave life. It's a surface dweller I've seen before, so okay, could be worth looking around for vortex cubes. There is a trade point. Aluminium crystals. Ah, talking of looking around for vortex cubes. And as soon as I say it, then I stumble across the first. Right, have we got any more in here? Yes. We will snag every single one of these and then flog it straight away. There's a trade point just outside. Relatively easy money. This is where I get completely turned around and lost, and then can't find the the area again. I think that's it. Yeah, 20 seconds away. And I've now filled up my inventory with goodies. Superb. Still think the cubes and so forth should stack more. Oh, so 2 more over there as well. Right. Which was the whole... Let's sell the lemon. The emerald. We'll hang on to the iridium, we don't need the effigy. I'll hang on to the gold because I'm not entirely certain I don't need it. iridium I've seen lying around. It's not too bad. 24k each. Sell these and continue on to the manufacturing centre. Oh, hi Armour, how you doing? Conversation rather than just whittering away to myself. Don't despawn. Just over the hill. Now charging after this life form. Still there. Where'd you go? There you are. Ooh, you're kind of interesting. Ah, after all that panic. Aha! I'll forgive you for being previously discovered. As we found one of the ones we're looking for. They're adorable. Right. Let's continue onwards. Yeah, things are pretty good. Armour. Got some progress towards a potential job, I hope. Otherwise it's just an agency going through the motions, but had an eligibility interview, just a little 5-minute thing. Some basic declarations saying, you know, I'm not some kind of masterminded criminal, I'm allowed to work in the UK, I'm not hiding any sort of bad references, or I'm old enough to go for the job. Just basically, then I had something called an SHL test. Not quite sure what SHL stands for, but it's a computerised literacy and numeracy test, which I thought I'd completely fluffed this morning. I ran out of time on the numeracy part. Spent a little bit too long on it. But apparently I passed. And I now have an upcoming Skype call with the lead recruiter. Not quite sure how that's going to progress. Unfortunately they want to schedule it for the beginning of next week, but I'm away for a couple of days seeing friends, so hoping they can organise something for later in the week. Not quite as a codey position as I'm hoping for, but it's a good learning opportunity with one of the banks here in the UK, Santander. It's more sort of assisting developers, picking up, doing scripting and minor coding bits and pieces, technical something or other, supporty sort of role. But I'm hoping it will lead on to bigger and better things.
Protection falling.
Well, you know, it's all bits and pieces. I had one I was whittering on about when I didn't have a microphone on. Another potential company dealing, well, an offshoot for one of them. And they wanted a copy of a scan or a photocopy or a JPEG picture of my passport details. And it's like, well, I'm not entirely comfortable giving you a third party information which could, if your security isn't absolutely perfect, let's face it, no computer security is, result in my details getting out in the wild and being used for identity theft. So I'm willing to compromise a little bit. I said, you know, I'll make a formal declaration initially that I am entitled to work in the UK, I'm a UK citizen, yada yada yada. And but if that's still not quite enough, the fact I'll happily bring my passport with me when I go to the interview, then I can send you a scan of it, but I'm going to edit out my date of birth so there's no prejudice about my age, my passport number, and things like that, just to protect my identity to an extent, but give you enough information that you can verify it's the same document when you see the physical copy. So a mate of mine was saying, yeah, it's that you're not going to get that job. And it's like, well, fine. It's like, well, it's my privacy and security, and they should appreciate my concerns on security as they deal with defence work and so forth to some extent, their other side of their business. But the guy was like, oh no, we've dealt with them for years, we've got sort of high level security in our agency, you know, we're probably more secure than the actual businesses that we deal with themselves. And it's like, well, you can't guarantee the security. It's physically impossible. So yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is that, you know, my details are already up on, you know, my CV and means of contact, and you know, okay, you appear to have a some form of legitimate website recruitment, but it doesn't mean you are legit. So I mean, they could be completely legitimate, and apparently it's not. A friend of mine I was talking to didn't think it was that uncommon, and it does seem to be relatively common these days. But it's not a requirement pre-interview, so they're lost in as far as I'm concerned. I think sort of the social media generation is somewhat responsible for the fact that everything's on Facebook and yada 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 and so forth. It's like, you know what? Keeping a little bit of your own personal information back is a good thing. Perhaps one day companies that respect that idea of privacy will end up doing better, rather than just getting the quick buck for the sale of data. I can suspect at some point there's going to be something that ends up getting into the wild about people, that there's going to be this huge backlash about privacy. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just completely become completely pieces of market information. Hi Clash King, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, I've not had to sign non-disclosure. I mean, I'll probably get, because I'm going to be potentially working with a bank, I'm probably going to get security cleared. At least there's like 2 levels of security clearance here in the UK for general banking work and so forth. So I'd imagine because I'm dealing in that sort of area, or potentially that they'll do an initial security check. Which should be no problem. There was a guy I worked with who had the higher level security clearance for British Telecom. Would deal with sort of the police and MI5 when they needed to hook into the system or deal with their particular communication levels. And he said he'd be more than happy to act as a security reference. But he was telling me about there was this one chap who was fed up of doing it. He was working with him absolutely because all the extra hours and all the hassle and so forth. So it was due for the security renewal, and the question was, do you drink? And he goes, yep, only to excess. And he was just trying to come up with all these really bad answers. And I went, yep, fine, you're clear. And it's mainly to do with the fact that you're totally honest and open about things. You're not in any sort of financial difficulties or so forth. It's like when people can't actually put you over a barrel to try and extract information. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Clash. Sort of backwards and forwards, keeping one eye on the street between moving around, and I was just saying to Armour, it looks like I'm hoping a somewhat promising employment opportunity could be coming up, though that would mean I'll be streaming an awful lot less, but it does mean the opportunity to learn new skills and also get some income. Can't live off your savings forever, unfortunately. And how are you, Clash? Ah, the recipe. Have you got a pen and paper handy? The mead recipe is ridiculously easy. I mean, they're all over the internet as well. I sort of check sort of numbers, but my current batch, which is 2 UK gallons, was 8 pounds of honey, which is a pound is 454 grams. And a gallon here is 8 UK pints, or about 4.8 litres. So there's your basic volumes. And then for the orange zest mead, it was 3 large oranges, sort of the navel oranges, Seville oranges, about the size of a softball. Carefully trying to get as little of the white pith as I got the skin off. Some, because you want to take that to get rid of some of the real sweetness of the mead. And that's it. You're doing school at the moment. Ah, yes, your psychology. How did your assignment go? You're working on an assignment paper a few weeks back, if I remember rightly, and was in the stream rather than actually writing it, procrastinating slightly. Have I got it correct? Well, I'm getting confuddled. A friend of mine was homeschooling her children. They've done really well. Drawn from 2 open ports below me, on screen a clear countdown. An intense exothermic elemental reaction is being charged. It's a trap! True alert, detonation sequence, isotope fuel initiated. Remove the isotope. Boo! Right, this way. Yeah, my latest, going back to the mead, the latest batch of orange mead has been bottled today. Trashed the cheap plastic bottler, little corker, just 2 lumps of plastic. Probably get a couple more uses out of it, but I've used the neck of the bottle to take a couple of bites out of the collar of it. But yeah, it was a bit scrappy in the mead making or the bottling today. Not quite a lot of spillage, unfortunately. My mind was not entirely focused, which probably didn't help my SHL tests. But I passed, so that's the main thing. But I'm sure I could have got a better score. I did a couple of practice ones on one of the sites. It's getting sort of in the logic about 80-90%, well 88 to 90%. Similarly with the math. I don't think I did anywhere near as good as that today. Apparently good enough. Ah, you've been playing Overwatch. Yeah, they're not really that sort of thing. That sort of game never really grabbed my attention. I have been delving in some Titans Quest. I did rebuy it, the anniversary edition. It was only £4.50 over here for the first week. I previously bought it on Impulse, which then went to Gamersgate, which means I couldn't get the freebie. But it's like a couple of glasses of beer, £4.50. So yeah. So while I was having some hard drive problems, I was having a little blat at that. No, I've still got 7 bottles of raspberry mead. 3 bottles, 7 bottles corked of the raspberry mead, 3 bottles corked of the first batch of orange zest, and I've just bottled another dozen orange zest mead. I've got 1 raspberry mead in the fridge. I intend to take a bottle to my friend at the beginning of next week of probably the orange and the raspberry. So he has a business related phone call the following morning on the Tuesday, so he's intending not to get too spannered on my homebrew. I want to put one of the original orange zest meads away in a cupboard until Christmas and see how the flavours change, and probably 2 or 3 of the raspberry, and keep one as a potential gift for my sister. And I have my mother coming to stay with me at the end of the month while she gets some decorating done in the house, and she's looking forward to trying the orange and the raspberry, though slightly more of the orange. Yeah, I've seen some shots of it. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, Clash, then yeah, I mean the vaguely sort of cartoony, manga-y art style, I can see that sort of hints of cell shade. It's the one I think it is. I think I watched someone chatting about it while playing, or talking about their channel while playing some Overwatch. But yeah, it's not the sort of thing that immediately appeals to me. Yeah, I remember you mentioning something like that before, Armour. So yeah, you'll need to check what you're allowed to produce, but mead is basically honey wine, and I mean my raspberry mead, which is the same ratio of honey to water, and with 1.5 pounds of honey, not honey, 1.5 pounds of raspberries to a 2-gallon batch. That one came out really strong. That was pushing 18%, so almost a vodka, almost a spirit. And the thing is, it's so nice as it is, and 12 bottles don't last very long because it's very moreish once you start. Kind of want to do some ice concentration of it, which would be require me to stick some in the freezer for a day or two, and then pour off the unfrozen liquid. And that could probably push the raspberry from 18 to mid-20s, mid to high 20s. Probably about 27%. I would guess I could get it to, if it reduced by volume by about 50%. I did that with a honey sweetened cider. That probably hit low 20%, sort of third volume, so I'm guessing it ABV basically doubled with a third reduction. Yeah, it's the general there's the last species. Now extinct. Where was I before I got attacked by the giant crab? So yeah, the ice concentration is legal in this country, but nowhere in the UK are you allowed to distill without a license. Whereas I believe that varies on a basis in the States. Wines and homebrews, fair game over here. Yeah, I mean, it is a wine. At least it's honey wine, basically. It's what mead is. It's sugar, water, fruit. I mean, particularly if you add sort of the fruit like a raspberry, then you're making a raspberry wine using honey as the sugar rather than a caster or other syrup. But you might want to check your local homebrew web pages and make sure you're not going to fall afoul. But probably if you could probably do it as a carboy at a time, or a demijohn as we call. I mean, one of the first sort of ones was I was doing was a cider, which is where a lot more of the sugar comes from the apple than the honey, and that's the basic sort of classification for the melomels. Is more or around half the sugar content is coming from fruit. About fact, the only one you really have to watch out for is pineapple, because it can stop it from fermenting. So you're better off to start off with your sugar or honey, water, yeast. Let it ferment, and then once the fermentation has stopped, chuck in your pineapple chunks afterwards, and let that sit there while the gas removes from it if you want a still drink, because the pineapple can kill the yeast, or so I've been told. Yeah, the sort of the orange zest mead was based on some recipes I saw, which basically said chuck for an orange mead, chuck a few, like a couple of oranges in, chop them into 8 pieces, chuck a large orange into your mead batch. And it's like, well, I don't really want. I want the hint of orange rather than the full orange flavour. It's like, well, you have the orange peel with the zest in marmalade. So I thought, well, that could probably work. Death and taxes. One of the few things guaranteed in life. And then you see the politicians sitting in their ivory tower, and they seem so detached from reality. There's a real backlash on politicians at the moment. I mean, someone has to make up these ideas, but I mean, over here we had the expensive scandals, and I mean, they're career politicians. I mean, originally they were people, you know, the average populace that was stepped forward to put the case for their own area. And these days, politicians in this country are given seats that they can win, so they can get into government, and it's all sort of feels very dubious. I think that's part of the reason the Brexit vote succeeded. It's like, well, our politicians are bad enough, and they're local. Well, this is sort of the orange zest mead does remind me of marmalade, particularly when it's very young. You've got that sort of bitterness of it, without too much of the orange flavour. You've got all the sort of scent. So the orange zest mead is, I would call, almost like a marmalade. It reminds me an awful lot of a very mild flavoured marmalade. I know for a fact, because you scuffle, you're a predator. There was a lot of things being said about what would happen straight after Brexit. Emergency budget, complete economic collapse, World War III. Okay, the stock market shat itself, because the stock market doesn't like uncertainty, but recovered within a week as speculators re-hedged their bets. We're down to I think it's 0.25% base rate interest rate, but the economy's been pretty much stalled anyhow. There's been no emergency budget that was threatened. No companies have moved out of the UK as of yet. I mean, the exact terms and agreement we're going to come with Europe is unknown, and will probably start next year, at which point the stock market will probably shit itself again, because of uncertainty. I mean, the housing market was supposed to plummet, and it's stabilised and it's growing again. So the doom and gloom being forecast from one side isn't going to happen. Oh, I will do. Thanks for that offer there, Armour. I think you're quite a talented artist from what I've seen on your channel, so thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, I did actually vote to leave Europe, mainly because the distance of the European Parliament and sort of the lack of reality of the place was a bit of a concern in my eyes, and I didn't think it was doing the best for the European people. And as being a European person, I think we could do a little bit better. So I'm playing the long game. I mean, short term it's not going to be easy, but then life's never easy. So sort of taking a leaf from my own book and sort of saying, you know what, sometimes you've got to take a risk, take a chance, and accept the consequences. But yeah, it didn't make me popular. My friends on Facebook are were voting in and so forth. So yeah, it's been quite a lot of hostility and vitriol again from those that claim to be socialists. Very scary. But yeah, I mean, America's got their own little battle going on at the moment. You got Clinton and Trump, haven't you? So but shortly afterwards, there was after the Brexit vote came through, sort of Europe was saying, well, maybe we need to start looking at the worries of the people more. And it's like, well, if you were saying that before the vote for Brexit occurred, I would have probably voted to stay in. But so hopefully, if we go down and completely bankrupt ourselves in Brexit, then perhaps Europe will end up better off because they start taking some notice of people again. Who knows? Anyhow, I'm going to take a quick 30-second or so bio break, and I shall be back shortly. So where were we? Yeah, there's also sort of other issues where it's the protective blanket of the market actually harming things more than it's benefiting them. There was Brexit the movie. Now there was some good points put across it. Unfortunately, there was a rather nasty sort of pretty xenophobic caricature which didn't really do the argument much justice about the way the European import legislations and tariffs were basically protecting inefficiencies inside the European Union. Another good one was by Jeremy Paxman. I quite enjoyed that. There's a good counter-argument by a Liverpool university lecturer. And there was a good one, I think it's the gentleman I quite liked was David Hannanen. And there was one at a university with him talking with David Izzard. No, not David Izzard, Eddie Izzard, the comedian. Jules Stein or Gary Johnson. I have to say, the only real names we hear over here in the UK, and I suspect there's a very similar thing with the US and UK politics, is Clinton and Trump. I mean, I'm not really sure how your voting mechanism allocates votes for the presidency, so I can't really make any comment on how those results will go through. We have a simple, relatively simple first past the post system on our general elections. You vote for your constituency, you pick a party, and whoever gets the most votes wins. But things are a bit more complicated over there in the States with these various rounds and so forth. But even with our simple system, you get people going, well, one of the great little arguments I've been hearing is like only N% of the total population voted. I mean, it worked out that in the referendum about 75% of the eligible voters voted, and 52% of that 75% voted out. And it's like, well, that's only 37% of the population voted to leave. It's like, it's not fair. It's like, well, it's actually 52% of the people that voted, and 25% don't mind either way. So you can add them to the other side or both sides effectively. It's like, so you could say it could be as high as 75% were pro-exit. But another one was like the current Conservative government had a total percentage of the votes of about a third of all the votes cast. And it's like, well, they shouldn't be in power, they only got a third of the votes. We should have proportional representation. We had a referendum that wasn't quite proportional representation, but was offering an alternative voting system, and people voted to keep the current one. But the argument there, okay, they've only got a third of the total vote and are in power with a majority. Yeah, it's an imperfect system, but there hasn't been a government in the UK that's had 50% of the vote excess, total voting percentage, since the 1930s, and that was a Conservative government as well. See, one lady who had a kid born in Portugal and a second kid born in London after working there doesn't know what's going to happen. Very little. I mean, there's been, one thing that's really probably not going to happen is it's going to be impossible, will be a vote to exit. Anyone that's already here has a UK passport, nothing. It's going to be exactly the same. I mean, if you've got an EU passport, you'll be able to, you'll register. I mean, you just be, if you're already here, you're already here. I mean, you're not going to get kicked out. Just completely impractical. It's more of what happens in the future than I mean, you're here, you're working, you know. No, I suspect any currently, I mean, it's just, I mean, there's something recently you're saying there's no way to work out who in the EU has actually come, there's no database of people who have actually migrated to England under the free movement. So I would suspect that the only sensible thing would be is if you enter the UK before Brexit, then and you have a national insurance number, then well, you're a British citizen, and as such, you have all associated rights. And probably what else is going to happen is, because there's only a 2-year period from the moment we sign Article 50, there's just too much legislation that's tied in with the European laws. So the only reasonable thing to do in the time frame will be to basically sign in all European laws as they stand, and then move on from there. I know there's a lot of unknown. I mean, we still have passport control even for EU citizens. And your passport, as an EU citizen, you go through a quicker channel, but your entry is recorded still through our customs. So the date you entered the UK would be known, and as such you would probably be given a right to apply as a UK citizen if you so desired. But that's up to the oh, it's going to take forever. I mean, it's the other thing with having to vote out or not is, realistically, in a few years' time, another 5 years, we would have a United States of Europe. I mean, our legislation and laws would have been so more ingrained with European laws. I don't think it would be possible at all to extract yourself as a country from Europe in another 5 or 10 years. So it was if we're going to do it, we're going to have to do it now kind of thing. And Europe was sold under, back in the 70s, was being marketed for one reason and ended up being something a little bit more was being offered to the public at the time. So there's a little bit of dishonesty we worry about. Oh, new Doctor Who episodes. I would suspect we're going to get new Doctor Who. That's a much better subject. Politics is always a dangerous one. I suspect I should be seeing some trailers of new Doctor Who sometime for October. I think is usually the start of the series. You get sort of 8 or so episodes around October, and then the break for the Christmas special. But yeah, I do enjoy Doctor Who. I think the Gold channel, as we called it, to go on Laugh Daily. It's sort of a mainly repeat one. They used to run old episodes of Doctor Who. I think the Horror channel does as well at the weekend, or sort of midweek, some classic episodes. Yeah, one world government ambitions. I mean, realistically, it'd be great if the planet could unite. Unfortunately, there are just too many cultural and, I suppose, egotistical in some regards differences at the moment. What we need is a big, scary alien spaceship. Let us worry about something outside rather than our own differences, and just realise just how small and insignificant we really are. I think that kick up the backside could do us a world of good. It's very unlikely to happen, but we had the Come on. Ooh, we have a bug. And this is an inactive active station. I can't interact, the alarm's going off, but the hologram is complete. There were loads of lost episodes. They do find some. There's a whole bunch of people from scouring for them. There was a bunch of episodes found in South Africa that have been lost, and they've recently decided some of the episodes have been turned into an animation.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Product extracted.
I can't remember the actor's name now. There's one after Hartman, the one with the fur coat, the flute, or the recorder, I should say. Troughton. Patrick Troughton. Is it Patrick Troughton? Is it Troughton, the sort of monk-haired one? Yeah, we live in hope of the fact. I mean, there's some of us that have a great deal of respect for people. Unfortunately, we're stupid and selfish at times. But, okay, so that's been undiscovered. Let's go to Slingy RG885. Yeah, it's the Fermi paradox. Why haven't we discovered any advances of alien life kind of thing? Well, we could be the first ones. And the fact that we end up blowing ourselves up can be the problem. There's various sort of extinction events. Yeah, I have no idea. I just remember popping up on the BBC website. There was some of the missing episodes have been turned into an animation. So whether it's a redone of the script with a voice actor that sounds like the original Doctor for those particular episodes. They did a few animated ones based around Matt Smith and Tennant as well. Yeah, I seem to recall. But yeah, you need a TV license now to go onto BBC iPlayer. Or at least I think you have to say you have one. I think there have been problems with accessing it from overseas. Anyhow, if you're not using a proxy. And once they detect a regular proxy, they block that as well. I'm not quite sure how they're going to try and monetise non-UK residents for the iPlayer service. Hiya Alan, how you doing? And yeah, just on the edge of good evening here. I've not watched any of the animated Doctor Who's. Yeah, I've probably took the live action events. It's a little bit unfortunate timing, Alan. I'm probably going to be wrapping up in the next 20 or so minutes and start prepping some dinner. But this is looking an interesting looking planet. I've been streaming for just over 2 hours now. Ah, yes. Yeah, you get some of the Doctor Who's and Torchwood So it's a bit like we get a few of your sort of TV series come across here. So there's some good stuff. What I've been watching recently, some on Sci-Fi, Hunters. Not too sure about that one at the moment. That's the bald chappie from Lost. This time with hair. It took me a while to recognise him with a beard and hair. Mr. Robot Series 1 has just started on the terrestrial television. Dark Matter, sort of a little bit Firefly kind of thing. The Nanite film Captain's quite cute, which definitely helps. Watching Supernatural, which is a fairly candy flossy program to watch. And Containment, sort of my recording series at the moment. I've not watched the Sarah Jane's ones. You know, I think I've caught 1 or 2 episodes once, but I've not watched any of the Sarah Jane mysteries. I mean, I quite enjoyed it, but it was just felt a little bit too CBeebies. Children's television for me. I've just been a bit too old to watch that. Got an Arctic world with floaty islands. It reminds me actually very much of one of the first planets I was on, with the snow and floating platforms. Okay, that's probably down here, because there's a beacon.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Okay, threatening. So I'm going to get jumped by... yeah, this is not a planet I'm going to be staying on. We will nick that though. And then GTFO. Bye! Because the Gravitino ball is a component for the top tier hazard protection. Right. We'll go there. We wrap things up.
Technology recharge.
ZJ the DJ, hello, welcome. An unfortunate timing there, ZJ. Probably not too much left in this stream. I've been going for coming up to 2.5 hours, so well, 2.25 hours at the moment. So I shall probably be back with something a bit later on tonight, probably in about 4 or 5 hours' time. Probably well liquored up. But thanks for popping in and saying hi. It's always nice to see a new face or icon, stroke avatar. Hope you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. Feel free with any questions. Always open to questions. It's answers I cannot guarantee. Me waffling about this, that and the other, except for the first hour where I didn't have the microphone switched on. Missed 2 planets with 11 life forms on one, 12 on another. Currently exploring the area. I'm trying to find an extreme environment planet to try and rack up for that journey milestone. which may mean a very dull period as I wander around. That's quite a nice location. I think there'll be sort of a crater there. That's an observatory, which is just a ruin. So let's cruise across a bit. So yeah, my current goal with No Man's Sky in the sort of 85th hour now is I want to get the journey milestones all to level 10 before I head towards the centre. Now I've only got a couple more to go for. Destroyed starships, I should be getting that relatively quickly. This one, survival, is going to be a bit dull to get, because I reckon that's going to be about 20 to 30 souls in total to get level 10, and that one I should complete on the way to the centre. I just as you arrived, CJ, I decided not to bother with really hostile sentinels because I don't need to kill any of those. I've got the achievement or the journey milestone for that. But mainly I just sort of cruise around, try and tag most if not all life forms on a planet with them. Enjoy the scenery. So I should be trying to locate a reasonable landing zone, such as this one. Reactive, regular and occasional, so this is definitely explorable. Half a dozen life forms. Let's see how many are in the local area. Scuttle, that's a stalker, so that's potentially hostile. In fact, probably is hostile. Those crabby things tend to be. You're an observatory. You'll just point me to a ruin. I think you're a transmission tower, so you'll locate crash ships. That's so much easier than it used to be. That really did drive me batty, scanning the batty things. I'm so glad they have fixed that. We've got some interesting sort of visuals, greens and blues. Trying to see if I can catch any more life forms locally before I save up. Start cooking dinner. Whoops. I think that's just improves the area. And that green. Well, there's obviously They want people to get paid for bringing things in. Might as well.
Radiation protection stabilizing.
Go on, we'll talk to you, but I doubt very much you've got any new blueprints for me. Gra, pathetic warrior. Warrior, weapon only mission. Yeah, have some uncommon isotope for your gun. Yep. Yet another previously known blueprint. Right. Sell a few items. Yeah, I'll sell the gold.
Units received.
Sell the emerald.
Units
Keep the Gravitino ball because I might want that for the hazmat. I might as well sell the shielding. Iridium, might as well sell that. I need the iron for an upgrade. Carbon. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. I'll probably not upgrade. No, I've got a better one at the moment. Actually, I'm a little bit of iridium short. Have we got iridium for sale? I need 18 for a damage upgrade. Ew. Kill something. I'm not an aggressive sort of thing. I mean, I will blow away the little swines that come at me, but I just like killing things. A bit too much of a hippie at heart, I think. Have a quick look round. They must have heard you, CJ. Because all those little hostile creatures have gone away. Right, it looks like we might have to kill something on the next episode. I'm going to wrap things up now. Let's go back to the ship. Actually, no, let's grab this and then go back to the ship. Good starting point. So this has been part 37. So you'll have to tune in for part 38, ZJ, and we'll see if we can get attacked by something, and so have to viciously defend myself in a completely terrible, shooty manner. So I'm going to dive back to the ship. I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you all for coming by. I know, sorry about that, but the voices begin to crackle in the background, and I'm also getting a little bit hungry. I will be back probably 4 or 5 hours time, I suspect. I'll have to catch up with some bits and pieces I need to deal with here, and most likely we'll continue with Banished, I think, depending what state I'm in. But thanks for coming by. I will probably be streaming once or twice over the weekend as well, depending how things go. I'm not particularly regular with streaming. I definitely won't be streaming Monday, and I might get an hour or two of No Man's Sky late UK time on Tuesday. But in the meantime, wherever you are, have a wonderful day, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for coming by.